Most creators think that YouTube's job is to get more views for their videos. YouTube is out there trying to get more views for this amazing video that you published. But it's actually the opposite. YouTube is trying to get the right videos in front of the right viewers. They're trying to get videos for people, not people for videos. And so what can you do to help YouTube put your videos in front of more of the right people? Well, today, two of the YouTube strategists on my team, Sam and Ingrid, are here. And the three of us are going to talk about some very practical things that you can do in your very next video to make it more likely that YouTube will surface your videos in front of the right people. We're also going to introduce you to Dahlia for our Creator Spotlight and show you some of the things that she did to go from 1,500 subscribers to 62,000 subscribers and growing her business at the same time. And as always, we're going to wrap up with a power tip, something practically that you can do on your channel right now to see more results. All that and much more coming up in today's episode.
Hey, welcome to the Video Creators Podcast. You know how you put a lot of time and energy into your YouTube channel for not nearly enough growth? Yeah, we get it. We're here today to help you change that. If you're trying to accelerate your channel's momentum, become more profitable, and change the lives of more people than ever before, today's episode will help you move forward with confidence. So far, our team is responsible for helping clients generate over 20 billion views on YouTube. And now to help you, here's the Video Creators team.
Hello, creators. How are you guys? It's great to see you again for another Video Creators podcast episode like we do here every week to help those of you who are growing your audience on YouTube be able to take it to the next level, to reach more people, to change more lives, to grow your business at the same time so that it changes your life as well. And that's what Sam, Ingrid, and I are here to do with you here today. Sam, Ingrid, it's good to see both of you here again.
Yeah, good to see you guys.
Good to be here.
Yeah, I'd love to catch up with you guys briefly here. Do like a quick minute catch up. Sam, what's going on in the? Okay, so I think we decided to call it the Whittick Warehouse, or is it the Whittick Warehouse?
We got the Whittick Wicker Warehouse. I have concerns if it's all wicker, like flammable
it's
concerns.
Not a warehouse, it's an apartment.
Yeah,
you know,
Florida.
It's a small warehouse. So I would need a lot of wicker too. So I'm a fan of the Whittick Warehouse. I think we'll take that.
Whittick Warehouse.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What's going on over in the Whittick Warehouse this week?
Yeah, not a whole lot going on this week. Oakley, our dog, is chilling next to me on the couch. He might make an appearance at some point here in the background because he just, every time that I'm talking to somebody, I think he thinks someone's actually here. So he just loves people, and he always pops up like either on this couch behind me or somewhere in the shot. He'll just kind of like look up at the camera, and it's pretty funny. So he might make an appearance at some point. But yeah, not a whole lot.
It does look kind of weird just to talk at a wall.
Well, the funny thing is sometimes with this chair behind me, he'll go up and sit on it. And so it kind of looks like he's on my shoulder.
He's on your shoulder.
His little head is right there.
Pirate dog.
Little pirate on my shoulder.
What's Ingrid Blackburn? We were trying to come up with something to do with Blackburn. I'm like, Ingrid off-grid? But she's not
Ingrid
off-grid. Ingrid out-grid?
Yeah.
What do we do?
I don't have one. The
Blackburn
audience is going to have to come in here.
The audience have been great. They've come up with all of them so far, except for the Bone Abode when Lennon was here, Lennon Bone. But other than that, yeah, the audience has come up with all of them. So we're relying on you, audience.
Yeah, we need your
some ideas here.
I need some
Ingrid
help. Need some help.
Blackburn. What do you do with that?
Yeah.
But how are things going on in your world?
Things are good. It's cooling down. I'm so excited. It was not humid for once today. And I feel like the nice thing about North Carolina, it's like really kind of mild temperature. So I've lived in the Orlando area where Sam is, and it's crazy hot until like December. And here it's just now like low 80s, no humidity. It's nice. I'm spending time outside.
That's great.
Just chilling.
In the Schmoyer Foyer, we have last weekend, I finally got into the workshop and finally did some woodworking again. So my wife and I we started off our marriage with a full-size bed. And then a few years later, we upgraded to a queen-size bed. And now that we've been married for like 16 years, my wife is like, we need a king size bed. So the older we get. So we just got a king, and I built a new headboard for our bed. It's a really nice one. I love the way it turned out. It's a farmhouse looking headboard, and I built in some farmhouse looking lanterns into it for
nice.
that can be moved either to be above our heads if we're reading or above our nightstands, which is what I'm building this weekend. Farmhouse nightstands with barn doors on the front of them, little mini barn doors. So
nice.
Are they wicker? A whole matching complete set. They will not be wicker.
No,
maybe they'll have a wicker basket in there. A wicker basket.
It will be pine painted to look like something way more expensive.
So nice.
Practical. Love it.
For this week's Creator Spotlight, I want to introduce you to Dahlia. Her channel is Welcome to Chickenlandia. When she first started working with us, she had about 1,500 subscribers, and today she has 62,000 subscribers. But more importantly to her, her business has grown as a result. You know, she's one of those creators that's not just about how do I get more views and subs and feel popular on YouTube. It was, I think since then, she's written and published a book, an online course, and has team members. And so just working with her, not just on her YouTube channel, but on her business, has been really fun to see that transformation. And here's Dahlia to tell us a little bit more about that story.
When I started working with video creators, I had, I think, 1,000 subs on YouTube. And I did have my business, but I was definitely not making a profit. And I was just kind of struggling, like, getting it together, getting everything organized, and getting my brand, like shaping my brand. So the first thing I did was their 30 days course. It was a really simple course, but that changed so many things for me. And then I went on and did video creators. That really helped me to develop and just improve on the videos, the content that I was putting out there, and also just to really improve the storytelling. And then, you know, I've done some work with Tim on my business, and I have really just continued to shape my brand and hone in how I really wanted to change the world through my business. And it's really helped me, not just to start making profit, but to have more meaning in what I do. So I feel like I had these goals and I just didn't know how to make them happen. And video creators really gave me the steps to help me realize those goals. So I think it was probably the best investment that I have made for my business. I'm so glad I did it.
In working with Dahlia, one of the things that stands out to me about her is that she's one of those people that it's hard, but she'll do it anyway. Mm-hmm. It's a skill she doesn't have, but she'll learn it anyway and reap the good reward. You know, as we say to our kids, and now here on Video Creators, good work brings good reward. And when I see her doing the good hard work and seeing her reap the reward from it, that's always super encouraging and fun to see.
Yeah, I think the thing that I've really loved watching from her journey, because I remember when she had just done 30 days and she hadn't even gone into Video Labs yet, just seeing her unlock those little pieces, not being afraid to try and experiment. That has always been something that I've really admired about her. Yeah. She's got great content. The prez.
That's her sacred word. I'm the prez of Chickenlandia.
Yeah, dripping with Primal Branding. She is.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, if you guys want to check out her channel, link in the show notes below. All about if you got backyard chickens like I do, and you want to raise them properly and be a good chicken owner. I don't know. I was going to say landlord, but so that would be the Chickenlandia thing, I guess. Go check it out. YouTube.com/welcome to Chickenlandia. And we would love to work with you too, like we did with her. If you feel like you're just kind of stuck and you're not getting the amount of results that you should be getting on YouTube for the amount of effort you're putting into it, you're like, Tim, good work does not always bring good reward. You want to get that good reward? We'd love to talk with you about how you can experience that. You go to videocreators.com/Tim. /discovery call. And you can find a time slot there, about 15 minutes to get into a call with Sam. I think he's doing most of the calls right now. Ingrid might be jumping into a few of them. I've done a few of them as well. We just would love to connect with you for like 15 minutes. Just hear your story, take a look at your channel, see what you're working on, and just talk through is there an opportunity for us to work together? And if so, here's what we think would make most sense for you. What do you think? And just put that, help you make that decision of whether or not this makes sense. And our goal is not to, coerce you into something. Our goal is legitimately, we are typically sold out. Like right now, we can't even as of this recording, take another client until another 5 weeks from now anyway, if I'm right. Is that right, good? 6 weeks, something like that. So we genuinely want to help you make the right decision and make sure that you're not wasting your money on something that isn't what you need, and that we're not wasting our time on something that you don't need. So we'd love to talk with you. Videocreators.com/discovery call, and let's see if we can help you the same way that we helped Talia. When it comes to making your videos more discoverable on YouTube, making it more likely that YouTube will put your videos in front of more of the right people, there's a couple foundational things just to get out of the way first. And I think before we hit record here, Sam, Ingrid, and I were kind of all in agreement. We're like, if you've been around the audience long enough, you've heard us talk about how important it is to have your target audience and your value proposition down. In other words, a very clear and precise understanding of who are we going after, who is the right viewer we're trying to target, the right viewer that would be like, when they find this video, they'll be like, oh, this is the exact video I've been looking for, and the best way to make that type of reaction is to actually make the content for that specific person. And then secondly, it's value proposition, which is what value do you propose to deliver to someone consistently, over and over again, in every single video? What's the through line, that thread that ties every single video on your channel together, that when someone finds you, they quickly understand and want the thing that your channel is all about? We've had plenty of episodes about that and lots of conversations. So I don't want to belabor those points, but I do want to mention them because there's always first time new viewers here and coming to joining the pod squad, whichever you prefer. And so those two things, what we're going to talk about here today, goes beyond those things. Nothing we're going to talk about here will actually work and help you that well if you don't have those two things down. If you don't have those two things, you certainly need to figure those things out first. And then the rest of this will be more likely to succeed for you. So we got 7 things. We basically want to walk through the entire viewing experience on one of your videos and just give an idea or two of how to optimize each part of that viewing journey for that viewer. So that YouTube gets the signals from that viewer, positive signals that they're looking for, to feel like, yeah, I should promote this video to more people. And here's another person just like this person who loves this video. And then here's this other person who's just like these other 2 people who love this video, and just starts putting it in front of more and more of those people, right? So Ingrid, why don't you go first? What's the first thing that we can start doing to improve our content for better discoverability?
Well, to really improve your content, you want to really, of course, think about the very first thing that they're going to see, and that's the thumbnail. To go along with that is the title. You want to craft enticing, or even titles and thumbnails that spark curiosity, that are intriguing for somebody, that are going to be on the homepage or in the suggested feed. And those are really going to be crafted more for humans. It's not going to be a ton of text. You want to tell a visual story here. Start there. Remember, this is the beginning of your story. So once they see your thumbnail, you're competing with everybody else on the homepage and in the suggested feed. So you have to stand out. You need people to be scaled big. I need to be able to see what's going on. If you use text, don't use more than 2 or 4 words. Really have a strong focal point, things like that. Something that somebody's going to relate to. You don't want to be vague or abstract. You want to keep things, like I say, keep things really simple. That's really where I would start. And remember too, the suggested feed is where, when you click into a video, and it's the group of videos that goes down the right side, those thumbnails get really small. And so if I'm not landing on something right away, I'm just going to skip right past it. If you confuse and I can't make out what's going on, then you're going to lose.
Confuse you lose. Now, Ingrid, when it comes to titles and thumbnails, I don't want to make a whole new episode of this because we've done it.
We have lots of videos about that.
Yes, just on titles and thumbnails. But just to kind of for the sake of completion here, how would you strike the balance between getting the right keywords in versus making it a good clickable video?
Well, I would always I would use keywords really as a sense of what's my topic going to be? What's the problem that I'm solving for somebody? And then I would craft something that a human would click. So for me, it's not so much about the keywords versus really what is intriguing for me. How are you going to, I can have 2 grilled cheese sandwiches, right? But if you're just telling me about the best grilled cheese sandwich, everybody's got that. But if you're telling me about the grilled cheese sandwich that I ate every single day for 2 years, which is a video, by the way, that's
you
more
ate that?
human. Not me. That was not another cooking show. Who took video labs? Steven was
That sounded to
great.
me like a supersize me type of thing where you got to eat McDonald's every day for 30 days or something.
But think about it though. If you have those 2 titles, the best grilled cheese sandwich, and then you have the grilled cheese sandwich I ate every other day for 2 years, which one are you going to click in? Right? Both have grilled cheese.
More like, why would you do that?
Exactly.
Sounds like something I would do.
Gastrointestinal issues. Yeah, I guess what I was thinking there, Ingrid, is like, we don't really focus on keywords at all anymore. It's just like what makes a good, clickable, enticing, curiosity sparking, intrigue gathering. I don't know, come running out of words there, but yeah, it's that's 100% what you should be focusing on is that title thumbnail. And then Sam, what comes next then? What's the next thing we can?
Yeah. So if you've got the intrigue factor and somebody clicks into that video, the quickest way that I think you can destroy the viewing session and get somebody to leave is to start by just kind of that long, hey, welcome to the video, guys. My name is Sam. Today we're going to be talking about how to make this grilled cheese that I made every day for 2 years. If it's something like that where you're just, eating up time and you're repeating the title, the person came in with some expectation. If we're going to run with that example, the person had some intrigue and they wanted to know what is so special about this grilled cheese sandwich that made Ingrid eat this every day for 2 years, kind of a thing. So if you waste that precious time in the opening seconds just repeating that, they're like, I know, that's why I'm skipping ahead, or I'm just going to leave the video altogether. So, a good way to think of that opening hook, the first 15, 20 seconds, is to really even think of it as your hook actually started with your thumbnail. So, you want to make this person who has some expectation, some question mark above their head, when they click into the video, you want to make them feel like they're in the right place. And the time investment that they just made by clicking into this video is going to be worth their time. So, getting right into it. Maybe there's this really intriguing question that was posed, or maybe even some tension that was introduced in the title and thumbnail. If there's a way in those opening seconds where you can either, touch on that intrigue factor, touch on the tension, maybe even stretch that tension even more to get this person feeling like, I just need to know the answer, and not just kind of describing the title in a different way. That'll really help somebody kind of suck them into the video and get them in that way.
Yeah, it's like picking up where that title and thumbnail left off in terms of the expectation that was set, and increasing the tension, the curiosity is really, really important. And then after the hook, what comes next? What can we do next after that?
Yeah, so if we're thinking of just kind of the meat of the video, even thinking of the opening 15 seconds, it's kind of a game of retention. Like, how well can you keep this person here? You got them in with the title and thumbnail. How well can we hold their attention and keep them here? So, we have our opening hook. We're ideally going to not have the hockey stick at the beginning. We're going to get people in, but to kind of sustain them while they're in the meat of our content, there's a number of different ways that we can do this. The first thing that I tend to think of is storytelling. If there's a way where you can set up your video in a way that even, increases the expectation for the viewer. They have some expectation set from the title thumbnail. If you can keep that going once they're in the video, and you can kind of go through the video, telling stories and creating an emotional connection with this person, now it's no longer a question of, skipping through the video, looking for the thing I need. If I need to learn how to jump my car because it died, the battery died, and, I find a video for searching for that, I'm going to be skipping around trying to find the thing that I came for. But, if I'm able to emotionally connect with this person, where they're either telling a story, inserting some kind of primal branding, I'm kind of getting to know this person a little bit, I'm going to be way more likely to stick around through the meat of the content, because it's kind of just like, I just like this person. I'm connecting with them. Maybe they're sharing some creeds, some primal branding where I might share some of those beliefs. Maybe they share some of their background creation story. I'm kind of getting to know who this person is. And so I think in the meat of your content, if you're able to implement some of those things to create a connection with the viewer, they're going to be way more likely to stick around and not be skipping, just looking for that thing. So I think that'll help a lot.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, those audience retention graphs are so important to learn how people are responding. I remember a few years ago, a guy on YouTube, I was talking with him, a pretty successful channel. Now they've got, 3-ish million subscribers, something like that. But it was about a year and a half where they weren't getting much momentum on YouTube. And this guy would stay up late every night editing their family's videos and putting almost daily content up on YouTube. And he would study the audience retention graph of every video for like a year and a half. And it got to the point, you talk about systems in our last episode and processes, it got to the point where he knew exactly how many seconds he could be on camera for before people would abandon the content. How many seconds his wife could be on camera before people would abandon the content. How many seconds he could go without showing one of their kids. He knew, like, this is how long I can use this genre of music for, and then which genre of music I need to switch to next in order to not, like, everything. And he had it, he figured, like, and it wasn't just by like watching one or two audience retention graphs and thinking, I don't know what to do with this. It was by watching every single one and recognizing the patterns, spotting the patterns. And that is no small, easy feat. That is something that is the non-sexy side of YouTube that most people don't see. That is the difference between a 3 million subscriber channel and one that still feels flat. And as we say, good work brings good reward, right? And he put in the hard work, he did the good work and got the good reward.
And I feel it's really important too with the retention graphs, in order to help you spot those patterns, it's helpful to put them in a spreadsheet. Because when you're just going from one video on one page and then you're looking at another one, it's not as easy to see. But when you have those like little, and I do this for a lot of my clients, I'll take screen grabs and I just track that, and it makes it easier to kind of see the pattern of decline. Are they leaving quickly? And then kind of then seeing, and I also measure how long the hook is, so all these things kind of go in together. Maybe when we have shorter hooks, we have a much better retention. But when we have longer hooks, we're losing so many people that we only have our core audience left, and that's a totally different graph. So yeah, it's always helpful to kind of do little tweaks too that you can't do in studio.
Speaking of the content, Ingrid, Sam mentioned storytelling as one way that you can really flatten that graph. But and there's other tools we talk about too, primal branding and things. We can tell us kind of like what the goal is for the next step and some ideas what we could do to help the content perform better and have better retention. Yeah,
well, Sam touched on a lot of it. He talked about storytelling, but he also touched a little bit on primal branding. And I feel primal branding is such a game changer that a lot of it's surprising actually that it's not talked about more. And these are right.
I know. I was like I know, but it's just our secret sauce. I guess we'll just keep it to ourselves and to our audience.
And a lot of big creators, they naturally do a lot of these things. And if this is new to you, Primal Branding is a book by Patrick Hanlon. And he talks about the 7 primal codes. And Sam kind of touched a little bit on working in rituals and your creation story, a little bit about you. But when you start talking about these things and you have beliefs around what you're talking about, even, somebody who's watching, they're going to be like, I feel that same way. Or they're going to feel the complete opposite and they'll be a total non-believer and they'll be like, what? You're crazy. But they're still going to watch. They're making a connection with you in some way. And I think having that connection with the viewer, being a human, being so relatable is so important. And that's going to help bring somebody further into the video.
Yeah, a lot of people think that I need to present the best, most accurate and detailed information in order for this. And I hear that in sessions. People are like, and maybe not so many words, but like, I make the best freaking videos in this niche. Why is so-and-so growing faster than me? And it's often not because they have better info than you. It's often because people just aren't connecting with you. It's the same question, not just on YouTube, but it's like, hey, why is it that the biggest musicians who go double platinum and sell out concert venues, they're not typically the best musicians in the world? It's not because their musical ability is so good that they just are the ones selling out concert venues. No, it's because people love their story. There's a creed. The primal branding elements are there in terms of what makes it easy for people to quickly fall in love with them and their brand. And those musicians typically continue to reinvent themselves year after year to stay relevant. So it's more about the human connection and how someone feels in the content more than how solid the information is. So I know that's hard for a lot of us who are more on the educational side of YouTube, because to us, like, that almost feels like, you mean having the best information or having the best process or being able to help people the best way with this one thing. Like, I am the best, and that doesn't mean as much on YouTube. And like, no, unfortunately, it means more how quickly people connect with you, which is what storytelling and primal branding can help you do. Even though it feels like now the information isn't as jammed quite nearly as full. It feels like there's fluff, not jammed as full of just content and info, anymore.
Yeah, and I know even though we're talking about discoverable content, this also reminds me a little bit of community, dipping into that side, that human side, that really relatable side, that thing that might make you laugh, right? Versus just being a cooking tutorial. This isn't just a cooking tutorial. This is about the sandwich I ate every other day. There's a story there, right? We're going back to the grilled cheese sandwich. Sorry, guys.
I know. I just still can't believe someone ate that every other day for you.
But you know what? There's a story there. And the story is what gets you to keep watching. It's not anybody know it. We all know how to make a grilled cheese sandwich, right? And I bet we all know how to make a great grilled cheese sandwich. But do we know how to make one that's so good you can eat it every other day for 2 years?
I guess that's my problem. No. I do make them differently than my wife does, though. I remember when we first got married, I'm like, what are you doing? In case you care to know, a little story time here. I put butter in a skillet and make the sandwich first of all, and then I put it in the skillet and then flip it over, melt the cheese in the middle, done. She will put the bread in the toaster, and when it comes out of the toaster, then she'll butter the bread and put the cheese in the middle and then put it in the toaster oven to melt the cheese, or the microwave. And I'm like, you can't do it that way. That's not right. It has to be done in a pan. Yeah. And then we went to a friend's house and we got lots of little kids. People feed you grilled cheese. So he actually did it differently even before. He put mayonnaise on the bread and not grilled cheese, or not butter. So anyway, I was like, there are more ways than one to do grilled cheese. So.
Well, and Steven on another cooking show has a secret sauce, and that's the intrigue in the thumbnail, by the way. And it's green, and I would never do that. It seems really odd. It seems really odd to me. So I'm not gonna reveal it. You got to watch the video.
Okay. All right. Number 5, Ingrid. in terms of, how do we improve the discoverability of our content? So we've talked about number one, enticing titles and thumbnails. That'll helpfully go after your home and suggested traffic. Number two, Sam, you talking about hooking them in the first 15 seconds. Then number three, using the retention graphs to spot the patterns of how to keep people longer. Four, and great about building human connection using primal branding, using storytelling. And then number five, what comes next in terms of improving the content?
Well, and this is something that we see a lot with creators, especially in consultations, when just really starting to watch a lot of videos. A lot of times the videos can be cut a little tiny bit shorter. And don't hear that I'm telling you that you need to make short videos, because I'm not saying that. I'm just saying what is on point. What app is necessary for the story to move forward, and what can be left on the cutting room floor. I think they call it cut your darlings, right? Because if you're just talking just to make a longer point, it's not quite as interesting. And are you going to start to lose your audience a little bit? Think of us with social media nowadays. We don't have the attention span that we did 10 years ago. I know I don't. So you have to kind of keep things on point, keep it moving along, because when we think about discoverable content, you want to get people right to the content. You don't want to delay that action too long, and you want to keep them moving forward. So in the sense of storytelling, think also if you have little mini stories or obstacles or things like that you're presenting, open a story loop. As you're closing a story loop, open a new one. That helps to move people forward.
When you think about story loop, that is like, for people who don't know what that is, why don't you explain what an open and close a story loop is?
Okay, so I'm kind of think of grilled cheese.
It's basically,
go ahead. Go ahead.
It's basically like the tension is created, and then when the tension is released, the story is closed. Like, oh, now all my questions and curiosity have now been satisfied. So you want to open up another curiosity loop, maybe a door that will hold their attention to get them to stick around longer.
Yeah, and there's a key little word that's great. And there's a key little word that you can actually use also, because a lot of people have a tendency to use the word "and," which just compiles stuff on each other. But if you shift it to the word "but," so you're finished with something, and you say, "But," you're done adding the butter to your bread and in the pan, but you want to make sure the cheese gets melted thoroughly. So now we're talking about the cheese. We're done with the bread. Yeah. We've moved on to the other little section.
It makes it feel like it's moving somewhere faster instead of like this happened and then this happened and this happened. You say this happened, but then this happened, but then this happened. It feels like now it's got forward momentum, which is what our job as storytellers with any story we're telling and any video we're making is to make this feel like it has forward momentum. Number 6, when we get to the end of the video, it's important to direct the viewers where you want them to go. Whether you want them to go to your website, you want them to go to a different video, you want them to get into a playlist or something like that. So you can use end screens to do that, or links in the description, things like that. So what we don't want people to do is like 15 different call to actions, like, comment, subscribe, check out my free guide down below, and make sure you follow me on Instagram. We've got a live stream coming up on Thursday. You can't do that. It's just one. Don't ask people to subscribe if you want them to go check out another video. Don't ask them to like if you want them to comment, right? Just one. Give them a very clear direction and direct them exactly what to do next, and using end screens for that. So we've talked about that in past episodes too, but that's also really important.
But we're really talking about discoverability here. So what kind of a call to action do you really want?
Oh, good point. Yeah. So with discoverability being the goal here, it's to increase the viewing session. It's not to get people to subscribe and passively click a little red button and never come back again. It's you're gonna move over to the side and like point to the space in the video, the screen where you're gonna add an end screen later, and give a pitch for the next video you want them to watch. And don't say goodbye. Don't say hope this was helpful. Let me know what you think. None of that is just clear signals to the viewer that this video is now over. You may safely be on your way. No additional value is coming. And that's not what we want to do. We want to make this person feel like, what? The video's over? Why is it over? I wanted more. You're like, exactly. Click right here and keep going. So that's the only call to action. You're not asking people to go to your website. or to like, comment, or smash any buttons down below. It's just get into the next video to increase the viewing session. Because what happens if you get someone to watch 2, 3, 4 of your videos in a row, you're far more likely now to show up on the homepage for that person and suggested videos for them. And YouTube will follow them around with other video content of yours for a little while to try to get them to re-engage. Like, hey, this viewer watched several videos from this channel. They must like it. Let's try again. And it's just staying in front of that person on YouTube is far more valuable, like I said, than a little red button. And then number 7, finally, bonus points. If you can get people into a little playlist on those end screens instead of just featuring one video, take like your best 4, 5, 3, it doesn't really matter. A very short consumable playlist. Make it just for that video and put it on the end screen. Give it a good catchy title. And the first video you want them to watch is the first video, because now when you get them into a playlist, you're getting them into a curated viewing session. You're getting them to watch hopefully 2, 3 of your videos in a row. And if we get really advanced, you can go to your analytics and look at the data for that playlist and see the exit rates for each video in that playlist and how each video in the playlist is contributing to the playlist viewing time and things. So there's a lot of fancy things you can do there. But ultimately, you just want to increase the viewing session, and playlists. Getting into a playlist is better than just getting them into a single video. What did I miss, guys? Is that the whole thing? The whole 7?
I think so. I mean, it sounds like analytics are pretty important.
Maybe we should do an episode on that next, huh?
Oh, wow. That makes me happy.
A Sam Wittek Analytics.
Wittek Analytics.
Sam Wittek Analytics. I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Coming from the Wicker Warehouse.
You say Wicker Warehouse, I kind of make it think of like a rapper with like turntables. Wicca, wicca, wicca. We should probably wrap this up before it gets much worse.
Yep, probably.
And now I want grilled cheese.
For this week's power tip, every week we want to leave you with something practical and useful you can use right now on your channel to grow it. And today's power tip is that I want you to look at the most popular videos on your channel, the ones that are still growing, not popular because it went viral on Reddit and then died, but the ones that are still getting momentum, the ones that are accounting for most of the traffic on your channel. And what happens, a lot of creators do is they'll look at that video or those top videos, and they'll make more videos that are the same, of the same topic, and they get stuck in this rut then of like, oh, here's what works. I don't really want to talk about this, but my channel is turning into this topic because that's what performs on my channel. I want you to look at those top videos, but instead of making a video that's just stuck on the same topic, I want you to look at like, what's a part 2? What's a follow up to this one? What is like the top question that people are asking in the comments of this video? And I want you to make an effort to make a video that ends up being the next video people watch. So it doesn't necessarily have to be of the same topic, but you're, again, trying to think about the viewing session here. Just what gets them into the video? What do they do at the end of the video? And what would that next video be that you could point to later as an end screen, or update the first video to point to on the end screen as well? So when you just think about the viewing journey on your channel, not just one single video at a time and just making one single video and another single video and another single video, but how can you start making videos that naturally lead from one video to the next video to the next video? And one way to start with that is just by looking at the video on your channel that has the most traffic and thinking, how do I, not the same topic, but the next part 2, the follow-up? What is the main question? How do you build off of that video with another video? And what I call this is the curiosity journey. How do you understand the viewer's curiosity journey and get them like Ingrid said, like open and close one loop and then open another one at the end of the next video to get them into the next video. So your most popular videos might be one place you could start with that, but if it's not, just start doing that forward and thinking about viewing sessions and curiosity journeys, not just one video to one video to one video as a completely random and off topic and next video, right? So hopefully that makes sense. We'd love to see you guys in a discovery call, talk more about that and how we can help you with that on your channel if you'd like to. Videocreators.com/discovery call. And Sam, Ingrid, and I will see you guys again next week for another Video Creators podcast episode. See you then. Bye.